Greetings, Africa Zonga, Africa, and the diaspora, and thanks very much for tuning in to yet another episode of the EFF podcast. My name is Titus Tsunga Kotaramsegonazoleka, and we're coming to you from Winnie Madikizela Mandela House. And today we're discussing the most controversial area in the Northern Cape, Orania, just to understand what it represents and what led to its formation. And for that discussion, we're joined by the Provincial Chairperson of the EFF in Northern Cape, Commissar Shadrack Tlhaole. Thank you very much for coming through and welcome to the EFF podcast.
No, thank you very much, Titus.
Mhm.
And we appreciate the leadership of the Northern Cape to be invited to this podcast.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time that we have been saying we're coming and coming, and we never arrived.
Yeah,
So
but-
we're here.
Yeah, but finally you are here.
I am here.
And perhaps because Northern Cape is quite far, and also the
Yes,
commitment
yes,
at
yes,
hand, and
yes.
it justifies.
You
the
don't
reason
just
why it
wake
took
up
time.
and say, I'm going.
Yeah.
You must plan properly to leave the province to another province. But
Yeah.
the responsibility forces us to do such, and we are comfortable with our work as the EFF. Yeah.
Yeah, and talking about the work, you have marched to the office of the Premier in the Northern Cape. But before you talk to us about your march to the office of the Premier, let's look at the controversial area in the Karoo region called Orania, which we understand to be a white only or Afrikaner enclave in that part of the province. What is Orania?
Yeah.
Let's start. there.
Orania is intentional racist segregated establishment with a purpose of defeating the democracy we are enjoying or we are having. Because of saying we're enjoying it, it's an understatement.
Absolutely.
Can't say we're enjoying. There's no democracy yet in South Africa. So we strongly believe that Orania is a yardstick to check the views of South Africans, that what is that they are prepared to do, at what extent. And if South Africans are comfortable with that, there will be many plans that are put into place to distract freedom in South Africa. So I'm going to be brutal honest with you that people may think that maybe Orania, for us to have marched to the Premier's office or to have a problem with Orania, it's something new. It is not
Okay.
new. You will remember that when CIC was the president of the ANC Youth League, took a visit to Orania and had engagement with the very same people around what does Orania stand for. And I think even at the time, this was not clarified. And the people of Orania, the leadership of Orania, thought that no, because of the CIC came there and he was expelled from the ANC Youth League, and the ANC itself is going to be business as usual. Then irritation is gone. Therefore, no one will come back and want to speak about Orania. To their surprise, the EFF was established, and we started to reiterate the concept of a land expropriation without compensation. So that threatens the establishment. Orania is about establishment in South Africa. Orania is about undermining the rule of law. Orania is about white individuals who think that they are more powerful than even the constitution of this country. So when CIC was expelled there, many white people in South Africa celebrated that this mosquito, we have domed it,
It's
is
gone.
business, is bye-bye. So you'll remember that we were part of the generation of the Youth League under the leadership of President Julius Malema. And that's history that no one can erase, and we are carrying it because of it's a struggle that we must pursue going forward. So we then realized, these guys, they are so comfortable. And fortunately, I became the chair of the.
And now you're making them uncomfortable.
We are making them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The mosquito is back. The irritation
And
is
biting harder.
Is just biting more than before, because now here is the mother body of the organization that says we must confront the racist agenda in South Africa. And we are doing so, pursuing the agenda that will benefit young people in the long run. Because of, when you look at Orania, Titus, there are business opportunities that are there. And we believe strongly that if we can have uranium in an area called Orania, and we are not exposed to it, we can't have access just to apply for a mining a right or anything like that, it's a problem. So the agricultural part of it is very huge, because of that's a most fertile land. You'll remember, if you go down history, you'll see that Orania before, there were people who were staying there in a community called Vleekskral. Those people were forcefully evicted, and those who were fighting back, they were paid some monies to say, no, let's give you this so that you live. An amount of 46, 47, less than 50,000.
Sure.
So many of those people do have families that wanted to remain in Orania, but because of the apartheid government, and they realized that they are losing power, because of, at the time, around 1990, 1991, they realized that these black people are going to rule South Africa. So we must do something that will not be easier for them to continue harassing us as white people. So the family of Boshoff, the father-in-law of Boshoff, bought the farm for voted them. They bought the farm, and that farm was bought for the purpose of farming. But our problem is that they use state to sell this land, because of they were in power.
Okay.
And we strongly believe that the procedure to sell the farm to an individual was a wrong one, because of, if you look at the Freedom Charter itself, it stated clearly that what is that South Africa wants to achieve under the rule of the ANC at the time, not this one that we are having today. So they knew for a fact that they are going to lose South Africa. Therefore, they must start something they will be in charge of. That's how Orania came. And fast forward, as the economic freedom fighters now in the Northern Cape, because of, we live amongst these people, we see the treatment, we see the behavior, it's extremely irritating. It's so nice for people who speak through Twitter, who speak through a radio or a platform where they don't know what exactly is happening in Orania. How would you say that Orania is a wide area only that respects the law of this country, but police don't have access into that area? Because of, no police enters that area without permission, without being invited that you can come. So the question is, how many criminal activities are happening in Orania itself, and the rule of law, the institutions that governs this country, they don't know what is happening. So it is a concern.
Sure.
And I remember saying to one of the comrades that, what if maybe the drug trafficking in South Africa is manufactured from Orania? What if human trafficking is housed in Orania? And no one can dispute that, which I'm saying, because we all don't know what is happening in Orania. You'll only go there per invitation. So normally, if I invite you to my house, I make sure that I clean. There are no cockroaches.
Sure.
If I happen to see cockroaches in your absence, so I make sure that when you come, it's proper, it's clean, it's impressive. So that's
you cover all the
you
tracks.
cover all the tracks. So we strongly believe that there's something big happening in Orania that these racists don't want us to know about. So we are clear as the EFF.
Sure.
We're going to fight this and we'll win it.
And what gives the Afrikaner community the right to perpetuate discrimination and racial segregation? Because Orania seems to be a state within a state. And when they say this is a white only area,
Mm.
it becomes a reminiscent of apartheid system, because in the apartheid system, the struggle during that time was to fight against the injustices, the
Yes.
oppression. But
Yes.
now, if we have a place like Orania under the current government, who gives them such rights, Chairman?
I think we should all come to a conclusion that what gives them such right is the disrespect they have towards the government of the day. They don't have regard
Mm.
for the rule of law. They know that the leaders of today, they don't have that firm leadership. They know that no one will speak against them because of they were part of every move before democracy. And there are things that maybe we are not told of that are very, very important to this country. They know things that we don't know.
Mm.
And for that reason, they will continue disrespecting us. That's why when we speak as the EFF, we say the EFF will provide a sober government should we be given an opportunity. And we say this because of we know we will not allow something like this. This is a redesign of apartheid in a modern way. And as the economic freedom fighters, we, and not only in the Northern Cape, I think nationally, we must look out for such acts because of they will live to bite us tomorrow. And the younger generation will blame us to say that you were blaming the generation of Mama Winnie who fought against apartheid having nothing. And you are given an opportunity to can fight through different platforms that you are having, and you are doing nothing about it. And they will be blaming us squarely. That will be fair, and we can't blame them. So what is that we want to do as this generation? We want to completely deal and erase a word racism in South Africa. And we're only going to do that under the leadership of the economic freedom fighters, that is President Julius Sello Malema.
Sure.
Well, we're not here to praise him, but to say the ideas that he has planted in many young people out there, it's very encouraging. The Feast Must Fall program came as a result of the EFF. So all this that we have achieved within 10, 11 years, it is because of the firmness we have shown, the resilience, the commitment to our agenda, that we are not just promising, we are implementing our ideas. When I'm saying we're implementing our ideas, Titus, look at when we formed the EFF.
Sure.
People were
2013,
saying this thing is just going to be like COPE.
Mm.
And to their surprise, we were better than any other political parties that tried to scare the ANC, the DA, and all of them, because of we came with an agenda. And the painful thing that these racists are afraid of is that we came with an agenda, and our agenda is now within Parliament. It's the word of the day,
Yeah.
because of we now speak of land expropriation without compensation. No one was looking forward that one day there will be consultations in South Africa about land, especially when the EFF is not in power.
Sure.
But because of the decisive leadership we have, we were able to present that to Parliament, and that bill was taken throughout the country. It's just that the leadership of those who are governing today could not be firm and decisive to say people of South Africa has agreed and endorsed land expropriation without compensation, because of they are buying the face of a white man, which we as the EFF will never do. They do have a land expropriation program now with compensation. And they know for sure white people who are racist and those who don't want to appreciate the EFF that one day this EFF will govern South Africa. And the day we govern South Africa, land expropriation without compensation will be the order of the day. It will be implemented. And who do we say thanks to? We say thank you to this organization, the EFF,
Absolutely.
appreciating the responsibility and the nurture that Mama Winnie gave us as
Sure.
the younger generation to their generation.
1994, South Africa went for general elections, the first democratic elections in South Africa. But the existence of Orania is still allowed in the democratic society. The question then is, why is such allowed to occur in a democratic society? And lucky enough, the EFF came on board in 2013. And now, fast forward, on Tuesday, you have marched to the office of the premier to try and call for the abolishment of Orania. Perhaps if you can just unpack some of your reasons behind the march. I understand Orania has been in existence for over 32 years or so, but this time around, what informed your march?
No, look, we'll continue to irritate the establishment.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we will tell you, and will irritate them in a very smart way, where in which we protect whatever this government has fought for, and also to make sure we don't allow this Orania to continue beyond approach, because of that's where they are heading to. I said earlier on that they are multiplying. There will be many Oranias in the Northern Cape. I make an example of a community or a farm that is now called Savannah, where it is only meant for white people, and that's in the Northern Cape once again. So why should we be quiet when we see this development, when we pass through these areas every now and then? And we would want to speak about Orania and all those things when only we celebrate Heritage Day, is only when we remember, hey, Ghana, we have this agenda of land expropriation and all of that. So we are raising this now because of we see white agenda excluding black people from active economy in South Africa. And they are doing that even through that Orania. And why I'm saying excluding us as black people, if these white people will make money from where we are staying, in Kimberley, in Johannesburg, and all over the country, and go and spend that money in Orania, why should they spend our money there? Because of it's our money. It's our money because of the business proceeds they get out of different towns in South Africa. They are spent and invested in Orania. And it's not plowing back to society. They are not plowing back to us. If I can tell you now, the very same Orania, they have managed to build a college in that area. They are now busy with a hospital that is almost down. They have their own ambulances, and they allow now black people to be housed in their clinics and in their hospital. Why? They are chasing money. Whose money? Black people's money. They like our money, but they don't like us because of the color of our skin. So we will fight this tooth and nail. And people are saying, you will not make it. After 30 years, you as the EFF, you are trying this thing. Who said that in the past 15 years, nobody wanted to try Orania? The EFF president tried it at the time. But because of government of the day, that's why no one made follow-up. And now we are saying Orania is an irritation to us, our generation, and it must be dismantled. And we are going to do that. And we are so much disappointed in institutions like your South African Heritage Commission, Human Rights Commission, in fact, that for them to attend to some of these things, they will need someone to write them a letter, someone to complain. Why should we complain when we have such institutions? Why should we wait for someone to say, but this thing is wrong? Because of people appointed in different chapters that we have in the country.
They must do oversight.
They must do, thank you. They must do oversight. And they are not doing oversight. If they do oversight, we don't know where. Hence, we said in our memorandum of demand that we're going to engage them. We're going to engage all different chapters that we have in the country that might be relevant in the matter, that they should look into this thing. Universities in South Africa, they know how we got this democracy. Churches in South Africa, they contributed, they participated in us getting the democracy we are having today. Some of those political parties, the ANC, for an example, the power, the will they are having today, it was through priests, pastors, and all of that. But now, who said to them it's enough? Because of it's never enough. They must on their own come out and say, let's pay attention to some of the racial programs that are having in South Africa, driven by AfriForum, driven by Freedom Front Plus, and Orania. Now, here in Johannesburg province, Gauteng province, Tshwane, we have I don't know what do they call it.
Is it Kleinfontein?
Yeah, Clayfontaine.
Yeah, Kleinfontein.
And,
Yeah.
and also surrounding areas and a transport for food. They call it Vanatu. Vanatu is like where are you going? It's an app that they have for their own transport. That's why I'm saying they like our money, but they don't like the color of our skin, and we can't sit back. We are not going to allow any development that says white or black only. We're in South Africa, a rainbow nation.
Sure.
After 1994, when Madiba became the president of this country, through different channels, he demonstrated that we have never went against white people. We always have been asking that let's live together, to a point where now we found ourselves supporting rugby, being fans of rugby, because of that was the call by the president of this country that let's unite, let's show black and white people, as the government of the day of Nelson Mandela and the deputy president at the time declared them that we want one South Africa. That will, where did it end? Who said it's enough? Who said it must stop? So, Orania, if we'll allow it, I can tell you, there will be a bloodshed in South Africa at some point because of our kids will not be like us. If Tina, as this generation, we can proudly say that, not proudly, openly say that we are not our ancestors, we are not our parents, then what about our kids themselves? What are they going to say? They are going to take arms and fight. But the question is, will they be ready to take arms and fight? Because of they are fighting people who their parents allow them to prepare. So will put our kids into an ambush that will regret as ancestors. I don't know when. So let's fight this thing now and let's dismantle it for once and for all.
Yeah. As it stands, Orania appears to be undermining the values of democracy, nation building, social cohesion, and the likes. Now, when you try and engage with the government of the day, what sort of response are you getting, Chairman? And with the memorandum of demands that you have handed over, are there timeframes? And if no response, what is the way forward?
Yeah, before coming to that, I don't think Orania is just undermining the government of the day. They are bullying them. Racists are bullying this government. People who are in charge of the economy of this country, they are bullying this government. And it's only the EFF that seem to be fighting in the best interest of the people of South Africa. And even when we do so, we are called names. We are called names, we are ridiculed, and later referred to that they said it. The president spoke about this thing 7 years back, and here it is. Because of we are ahead of time.
Sure.
We cannot predict the future, but we can tell that what we are embarking on is right. That's where we find ourselves. And I can tell you now, when we engage the this matter of Orania, it was in the legislature where we submitted a motion without notice, section 136, that look, as the EFF, we strongly believe that Orania must be attended to because of it propel ideas of racism, racial segregation. Hence, you see the behavior of Trump. Trump did not just wake up and say, I'm going to disrespect South Africa. Who in the past 30 years have you seen undermining South Africa like that? And Trump just wake up and do it. He's doing it because of AfriForum, with the endorsement of Freedom Front Plus, went to them and say, what you are saying, what you are saying about us is true. We are suffering white genocide in the country. Where? That thing is not there. If they are suffering white genocide in the country, why can't they bring a paper to be debated in parliament? Because of they are in parliament. They are not doing this because of they don't have facts and they know or abana anything that seeks to suggest that Bolawa in this country. They are killing each other out of jealousy. These people are evil. Now, Trump disrespects South Africa, and we must just say it's okay. It's fine. That's why we have an embassy that is embassyless in America, in the USA. And here, the embassy of the USA is operational and is not threatened, and we are not doing anything about it. So some of those things made us to say, but if we can't do it as the Northern Cape, who do we think must do it? Because of Northern Cape is part of South Africa.
Sure.
We are not limited to ideas. We are given an opportunity to go beyond approach, and we are doing it rightfully so. So in the house sitting, when we raised this matter, the Freedom Front people were sitting next to me, not far from me, next to me. And they also agreed and they voted with us. Because of you are given an opportunity, that is there anyone who is rejecting this motion without notice. The white man was sleeping. And realized 4 hours later, yes, I've made a mistake here. The train is gone, and what can I do to stop it? Then they called their principals. That's when Mr. Boshoff tried to call me, dropped me an SMS communicating with me that, what is that you have said today? I just look at that message and said, I mean, I don't report to him.
Answer to him.
Yeah, I don't report to this man. Why should he ask me, what is that we said in the legislature? We say what we want based on our policies and the constitution of the EFF. So after that, we were informing them also so that they must not be surprised, because of we were probing debate, and they came to the party. They invited us. What's so surprising was when we got the invitation about Orania, it did not come from the community of Orania, because of they claimed to have a management committee. But the people who wrote us the letter is Freedom Front Plus. So it confirms that indeed we are right, that this guys is just one thing. AfriForum, Freedom Front Plus, Orania, and here in Pretoria, it's the same WhatsApp group. So we took the march to the Premier's office, because of the question is, why, if we take it to Orania, why giving it to who? Who is not racist? How do we go and complain to Satan himself? Or Warebolaya? We can't do that. We left the devil and we said, let's go to this one, because of we have some sort of influence. We are in the legislatures, we are in parliament, and we'll put more pressure in this platform for them to respond to this. And I think that we did it very successfully. Those who listened to interviews that we had throughout the weeks, and even up until yesterday, where the Premier of the province was giving more information to say, but this thing did not just start here. We are saying thank you. We must appreciate the EFF that they have brought this matter to my attention as the Premier of the province. And we're also happy that the man is not just the Premier of the province, but the Chairperson of the ANC, who sits in the NEC of the ANC. So this matter will not just end in the corridors of the Northern Cape government, but the national leadership of the ANC that is leading co-leading with the DA in South Africa, they will then just say, there's this matter that needs our attention. The good thing is he has been part of this from the beginning. Since when they were young, they were engaging on the matter of Orania. Himself and Mr. Boshoff, who pretends to be the best guru now, and think that what the EFF is doing can be resolved otherwise. It can be resolved politically because of there's a court order. There's a court order that says this matter must be resolved politically. Why? Because of it's a farm that belongs to an individual, not a town. But you will remember that we had a mayor in a municipality called Tembelele, a very poor municipality, a dying municipality, by the way. And part of it, as they are saying, we don't give our people the best services. We are a government that is collapsing of black people. But if they don't pay rates and taxes themselves to that municipality, how do they think that will be able to give a service delivery to our people? They claim that, no, there's only one person, Boshoff himself. He says, no, now I pay my services. We are not speaking about an individual. This thing is a national question.
Sure.
It's about a community that is established against the gains of democracy. So the premier is privy, informed, and he knows where the process started. So he's the best person to guide even national government on this matter. One thing that we have requested and we think will engage the premier and Freedom Front Plus in the province is that speak to your big brothers nationally. Ours are ready. In fact, they know much better about our view and our stance against Orania. Speak to your Peter Groenewald national and tell him that he must start initiating engagement with the leadership of the EFF national about Orania and also about the issue of the land in South Africa, because of one day and very soon in the near future, the EFF will be leading this country. And we don't want to see one about how popular by mistake hey, Kana, we have been supporting you and now you don't know. That behavior, we have seen it now in 2024, where people knew the honest truth that this EFF is going to be in charge of government. Everyone came close to us.
Sure.
And after the elections, they ran away. They're not even taking our calls. But I can tell you, 2026 is coming. And they can see that we are much clever than yesterday. We are not going to have an election in a VD where we don't have a proper party agent. We have demonstrated in a Ward 1 Jomorolo where we got 40% from 11%. That 40% we got it because of we were well prepared, we trained our party agent, and we were hands-on. So that is going to translate into the local government election next year. So you will see Umabina Gotsolwa. They will come again. No, we are here. You know, we have been with you, Shadrack, because of they know we mean business as the EFF.
Yeah. And let's perhaps take this opportunity, Chairman, to debunk the notion that kill the Boer, kill the farmer means, or it's a hate speech. Because if it was taken in literal sense, on that march, on the peaceful march that the EFF had to the office of the Premier, would have turned into a violent action. You would have decided to go to Orania and pull a trigger if kill the Boer, kill the farmer was taken in literal sense. So perhaps that is a clear demonstration that what AfriForum and Freedom Front Plus are more, and the DA are more concerned about, is neither here nor there.
They themselves, they know that it's a lie. They know we black people were a peaceful nation. And we have demonstrated it. Even when we are compared to monkeys, tarantal, and all different types of animal, we remain humble and decisive that we are not going to start a war in South Africa. We are going to build South Africa because of, we know, when we say this is our land, we are not mistaken. It is our land. So we are not going to do wrong things to provoke and promote the interest of this racist, which they are perpetuating or rona by chanting and singing, kill the boy, kill the farmer, we are causing for a genocide in South Africa. Where did we do it? So we had a march, a very successful march, where there are these white racist people who took our parade in Brackensfeld. They were saying they are going to be part of the march, they are coming to protect business and all of that. We just said, let them try. They got it right in the headquarters of racism in Cape Town. Yeah, in the Northern Cape, my bro. Yeah, it's gonna be something else because of we still want our beret. Don't forget that, and they must never forget that. And I think the day Freedom Front Plus decide to meet with the leadership of the EFF, they must start by merchandise there and buy a beret and say, we have brought back the beret of the EFF, please. Let there be peace on this thing of your beret as the leadership of the EFF. So that beret, right,
Yeah.
Now they went out on social media and say, one beret, one bullet. These people are pushing us to do things we don't want to do.
Now that's hate speech.
That's hate speech.
Yeah.
And
excitement of violence.
No
as
one
well.
says anything. Because of they are saying this thing, they will say that no, Shadrack hate white people.
Yeah.
But we are saying we are capable to defend this country. It might be not the way they wish, but we know how we can defend South Africa and the black child.
Yeah. When you try and engage the likes of Boshoff, is he defensive? Does he maintain that Orania should continue to exist? And when you go into the legislature, how far is that motion, or perhaps what was the outcome of that motion in as far as the existence of Orania is concerned?
No, the legislature and members of the legislature and all political parties, including Freedom Front Plus, they are not agreeing on Orania. Yeah, it's just that when they go outside, they speak different language. So we will see where it ends, and we hope they don't say something contrary to what we want to achieve. They will say let's agree that there should be developments that are inclusive of black and white people, not only in Orania, everywhere in the Northern Cape, and that might lead to say even in South Africa, if there's institutions like that, areas like that, let's do it. So we are saying again, we'll repeat this. All this that we are asking Titus about Orania, they are informed by racism. There's nothing. Let me tell you how racist these guys are. And sometimes their leaders will behave and pretend like, no, we are not racist. But the question is, if you can sit and eat with me, what makes you to think that we cannot do it in your own backyard? That's the question. This racism, when you are out of Orania, you are not a racist. When you enter the gates of Orania, you are a racist. Because of now, you close the gate behind you and say, we're not again. So all these things that we are calling for as the economic freedom fighters, we are calling for a peaceful nation. And we know that democracy, a total democracy, will be attained under the leadership of the EFF very soon. It's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow is coming with beautiful things. And the beautiful things we are speaking about is a free education, it's employment opportunity, it's your not an RDP house, a
sure.
dignified house where parents, great-grandchildren will celebrate and appreciate that we are in a democracy that Mama Winnie Mandela suffered for.
Yeah. And in the ideal world of the EFF, and also with regards to the ideals of freedom, nation building, and to achieve systemic equality in South Africa, are you then saying the land should be expropriated without compensation? If you were to be given the right to decide now, Chairman, that this is what should happen in the next 10 days in Orania. How would Orania look like in the next 10 days?
It should be administered by the municipality of Tembelihle because of it falls under Tembelihle in terms of the demarcation board. That's the first thing. Secondly, it should be inclusive of everyone, black, white, Indian, colored, whoever wants to reside in the area. It should be an area where the current development they have made there, they include everyone. So these are the three things that I think they are fundamental. And fundamental in a sense that if you are a boiler maker and there's a farmer, you must coexist. You must trade amongst each other. Not only you must trade against me, and I can't trade against the other person. So that is what we want to achieve as the EFF, a government that we will all celebrate, because doing this is a problem. And Titus, Boshoff says they are not racist. But I can tell you, it's something that I thought of when I was driving here.
It's a lie.
But these guys, they are lying to us with their eyes wide open.
Yeah.
When they go for entertainment, they go to Van Kloof Dam, which is
outside Orania.
Which is outside Orania. It's almost
double standard.
Kakul. So 30 kilos. And after drinking that Branavanian Coke, they go back and they embark on a drink and drive pattern or decision, disrespect, you may call it. And black people are killed like nobody's business.
Acting with impunity.
Go to the police stations and ask them that for the existence of Orania, how many deceased people were found alongside the road? And who were those people? They were only black people. I can tell you they have that report with them. So who can chase you up until your gate? And at the gate, and you call yourself a police, and at the gate you say, my brother, your journey ends there. Mo ga o fete mo. Yiso. Ke reine for Beni. What must the police do? What must the police do? Because of these guys are equipped properly. Let's just one day say, on a weekend, busy weekend, we go there when we know that they celebrate something unannounced and have a roadblocks. You'll see illegal guns, illegal ammunition, all those sort of things. And I'm saying this because of, I think I'm covered by what I'm raising, that how will we trust that you don't have such?
Sure.
If you don't have, you don't give us access into your premises. My brother, the police can come to my village, Khadiboy, at any given time. No one will stop them.
But they can't go to Orania.
They can't go to Orania. And sometimes it's white police officials who will go to our communities, and they even drink coffee and tea with us. In Orania, they can't. What stance is this? Orania is a pain to us as black people.
Yes.
We are saying that we're allowing white people to redesign a modern apartheid, and no one wants to hear us. No one wants to listen to us. A day will come when it will affect those who are governing this country, and they will feel the pain. The current provincial secretary of the EFF, before he became the secretary of the EFF, was held at a gunpoint alongside that road of Orania. He tried to open the case. He knew those people. The police did nothing about it. And the matter was addressed by your, again, white Afrikaner in that area. So imagine if it can happen to a person who was a mayor before in Tembelihle, a well-known person. Who are you, Titus? Who are you? When I believe you more imagine the man who can say who handed was held at a gunpoint and police could not help him. They could not help him out of fear that should I enter the space, my kids and myself might not see tomorrow. So that thing pains us as the residents of the Northern Cape. Those who are not staying in the Northern Cape, they don't know, Titus.
Yeah. It's a pain and a shame.
Racism is alive
Mm.
in South Africa. And the demonstration center is in the Northern Cape.
Mm.
That's where they demonstrate capacity.
Yeah.
I think even after drinking that thing of them, they just speak amongst themselves and say, "Once Hetala, we're in charge of them." So in our meeting we had with the community of Orania, where we had both the Boshofs,
Okay.
the old men to the Boshoff who is in Parliament, used a statement that says, "It's good that the EFF has engaged us. We like you for one thing. You are decisive. You are like us. We are decisive.
Mm.
So this engagement might take us somewhere. Let's continue to talk, because of both of us, we don't want to see a bloodshed in South Africa as a result of Orania."
Yeah.
That's what the old men say. But like you come to your sense, or I can't do what I was doing yesterday. Maybe there's that shame. The ancestors, Mama Winnie, they visited him and say, "Ewe Nandala, change your attitude. These ones are not us. If I was this Mama Winnie, who are these ones that are now engaging you?" So there's a bit of an opportunity that I think we must engage these guys to a point where we say we did our best. No one thought that there will be democracy in South Africa.
Sure.
Apartheid was designed to discriminate against black people. It was a law of this country. And when the leadership of Oliver Tambo stood against it, they were asked, "Ore, who are you? Do you think this thing will happen? It's not going to happen. You will be killed. You are threatened by your family." Even myself, my aunt just called and said, "Hey, wena, o batlang ko maburu? Batho ba tla go bolaya Shadrack, la pologang." And I know she's my aunt. I understand the fear. I understand how painful is it for her, because of she suffered apartheid. She knows what these people can do, the capacity they have. So, but we are determined because of some people did it before us. Our great-grandfathers did it. Our parents participated, that they fight against apartheid, and they won. What is Orania? What is Orania when we have the EFF?
Yeah. With just the population of 3,000 people.
Yes. So we'll get it right.
Yeah. No, it seems impossible until it's done, Chairman. And I would like to believe that revolution it's a process, and it's the outcome of sacrifices and determination. And one day we will definitely liberate the people of Orania, because there was a fighter there in the 2024 general elections who voted for the EFF.
Yeah.
So I hope Orania will soon be liberated.
I think the vote we got in Orania was a cry for help. Was a cry for help. Hence, we are saying that there are things that might happen there that we don't know.
Yeah.
If there's one person who votes for us in that area, it just tells the country that our hope is in this red beret. So can you please come and help us? So I think that person, wherever he's sitting, he's just celebrating alone. Or, oh, yeah. He come didn't take a suket.
Yeah.
What I wanted is
my
now
0.1% is working.
It's coming. My 0.1% is coming, and I think the person, that fighter of ours, is celebrating him when he gets. I don't think even if it's the husband or the wife or a young person, there's no one who knows. The boyfriend does not know. The girlfriend does not know. The husband and the wife, they don't know. It's just one person who said, "Let me expose these guys for who they are."
Yeah.
And if not found by now or dead by now, we don't know. Yeah, things are happening there. There are some allegations that for now, because of as the EFF, we don't say things that are not verified.
Sure.
Yeah, there are allegations that came to our attention, and we don't want to speak to those in public before we got and information proper
Sure.
or not, this is true. But should that be the truth, then we are not going to ask for the Premier of the Northern Cape to answer us in 30 days. You'll find us there.
Mhm.
Yeah. You'll find us in Orania by hook or crook.
Sure. Oh, what is worrisome, Commissar, is that our constitution gives effect to self-determination.
Yes.
Section 235 of the constitution
Yes.
does acknowledge that a group of people who share a common cultural and linguistic heritage can have the right to self-determination. Perhaps this section of the constitution is misinterpreted, it's not applied correctly. I want to understand whether you agree that Orania is formed on the basis of self-determination consistent with the constitution or not.
I disagree.
So your views are that Orania has been formed inconsistent or not inconsistent
It's
with the
not
constitution.
inconsistent with the constitution.
Sure.
And why I'm saying it's not inconsistent with the constitution is based on the question that I've asked you. Or where does it say? Because of you don't read the constitution selectively. Yeah, you read it from the first word up until the end. So this one is only those few thoughts. I'm going to read them. I did not give myself time to read them.
Sure.
I'm going to read that, and I'm quite sure I'll come back to you to say that they quoted this 1, 2, 3, but look at this one. What does it say? So Orania was formed out of fear.
Sure.
Let's leave the constitution.
That's true.
Orania
That's true.
was formed out of fear, and my suspicion is that it was allowed because of the situation the freedom fighters of Nelson Mandela found themselves in, and they were rushing in to get this incomplete democracy we are having. So why should we blame them? They did that. They fought their space. For their space is now within our hands. What do we do? But that meal half cook. How do we make sure that we give our people out there a proper prepared a meal of the day? By making sure that we dismantle the apartheid. We have demonstrated, we have been patient that we don't hate white people. That's why they go out, those who don't read and those who don't follow news and follow the EFF to say that EFF hates white people. And only to find that there's a white person who's responding to them, but I'm a member of the EFF.
Sure.
How can this organization hate you when they can sit with me? So those type of hatred that they are speaking about, they are ill-informed and they cannot confirm it.
Sure. And Northern Cape, Chairman, is the largest province in South Africa, but yet it has the least population. With the numbers that you have in in Northern Cape, are you confident enough that we'll find expression and be able to address the issue of Orania in the Northern Cape?
You sound like the president when we were. What program did we have? I think it was the launch of the manifesto on the 23rd of March 2024.
Yes, I remember.
When he came there, he said, "Yo, Shadrack, I think you took everyone out. There's no one at home."
That day when we had problems.
Yes. Everyone is here. It is about a will. It's not about numbers.
Sure.
Look at what our 9% is doing. People with 40%, 17, and whatever percent they have, they can't confront serious issues like the EFF. So it is a political will. We believe that we are on the right track. We will do it, and we engage them on the basis of knowledge. We don't sit and we don't just wake up and say, "This is what we're going to do." We process it properly and look at the facts. The EFF has researchers.
Yeah.
EFF has researchers, my brother. That one,
learned researchers.
My proper people, proper people. So we have this. We have lawyers amongst ourselves who, when we speak, they say, "Commissar Shadrack, look into this, please. Make sure that even when you raise it, you don't compromise the organization and you don't find yourselves against the law." So we take advices.
Sure.
We must not be naive and pretend like, oh, Shadrack is the best.
Mm.
Even this program of Orania is a program of the organization. It's not going to die if Shadrack dies tomorrow. It's going to continue. So that's why President will always say that we must plant an idea. The idea is planted, and we can see where the seeds are germinating. It should not be our problem that people hate the EFF. We must celebrate that we are hated for a right cause.
Sure.
So the population that is not there, we're not worried about that. I mean, black people. How many black people are in the Northern Cape compared to Orania? And the reason why we are not worried is because of we are not inviting a war.
Sure.
We are not starting a war. We are resolving a problem for both black and white children in South Africa.
Sure.
So, ka 2029, when we'll be in charge of this government, will be more wiser than in 2024.
When you become the premier of the Northern Cape.
That one is going to happen.
In our lifetime, of course.
I even told the current premier, my brother,
must make your way out.
Make a way out, man. You are delaying us.
Yeah,
we want to change the lives of our people in this province. You are a stumbling block.
Sure.
So yes, we are confident enough that we will be part of government for a very long time, and at the end of the day, we will lead government in South Africa.
And for a good cause. For the people of Northern Cape, what should they expect? And what can you say to them? Would you say the march has yielded the positive result, and now what is the way forward? What can they expect?
In fact, to our enemies, they are worried. They thought that after the elections, even when we demonstrated that we do have capacity, when we celebrated the 11th anniversary, and after that we were a bit quiet because of we were preparing for the National People's Assembly that was so successful. So everything that we do good, we disappoint our enemies. So the march we held on Tuesday, the 22nd, it surprised many people. People were surprised. Is this the EFF in Northern Cape? It is the EFF in Northern Cape. We are growing. Everything we touch, we don't do it to impress anyone. We do it because of we are fighting for an agenda that will benefit a black child in a very long run. So we are happy. We have demonstrated capacity. That's what the leadership of the EFF National, the officials will always say, that, guys, think out of the box. You guys have capacity. It's just that you are lazy to think. So when we came with this suggestion of a march, we against Orania, we sat and say, we're not going to submit a program for the sake of submitting. Let's sit and engage. I remember saying to Commissar Fugani, Commissar Fugani is a convener of the deployees in the province. So he was on my case. And then I said, Commissar Fugani, we can't just have a program for the sake of a program. Let's look into something that will confront the establishment.
Sure.
And for now, I don't want us to only look at the mining sector. Yes, we have identified a problem within the mining sector, but there is this thing that I think we should fight. We had a serious engagement, disagreement, up until they agreed or no. Yeah, Chair, you have identified a very good program. It is not only for the Northern Cape, but it's for the people of South Africa and Africa. So the program was blessed because of the national chair of this organization. Mama marched with us. I think it was 9.2 kilos that we walked. And Mama never said, Shadrack, imoto ipi, I just want to rest. She took that 9.2 kilos with us up until she even addressed and closed and thanked everyone who came. That shows the level of commitment we have within the leadership of the EFF. In the morning of the 22nd, Tuesday, yesterday, it was not drizzling but raining, pouring. We ask ourselves, Are they going to calm these fighters? And then I remembered when we marched for jobs in 2022 in John Taolo, Hamagara sub-region to to Kumba. It was raining, it was winter, but people came out in numbers. And yesterday I said, but it's not cold like it was in 2022. So we are happy that we demonstrated capacity as the EFF Northern Cape.
Yeah. And as a parting shot, do you think Orania's existence has to do with mining interest? Are there any mining interest where Orania has been established?
When you see those people clinching into something, you must know that thing is very big.
There's no smoke without fire.
Yeah, you must know.
Yeah.
You can look at their business interest. The only business they are not interested into is the taxi industry. They don't care about taxi industry. Right, taxis. It's for black people.
And I've never seen a white person in a taxi. They don't do those things.
They don't do those things. So it means what we have touched the nerve of the racist by bringing back Orania to the center stage and say, let's look into this thing. It's an agricultural land, my bro. Rich agricultural land.
Rich with our natural resources.
Yes, rich. That's why we have Van der Kloof Dam in Van der Kloof, few kilometers to Orania. It's because of water is not a scare thing, a scare commodity to them. It's a huge infrastructure they have there. So why should we struggle about Metsi when there's water in Van der Kloof Dam and the people of Tembelihle don't have water? So what does it say to you? And Orania, they don't struggle with water. It says a lot. They say that they manufacture their own electricity. I don't know. I want to go and see. Whenever I have an opportunity, I'll just tell Boshovo, hey, come, let's go. I want to go and see at our minerals there. What do you have and how are you getting it right? And when I'm there, I'll also tell him, okay, can you teach us how do you get this right? Because that's what we are fighting for, the economy of this country.
Sure.
That's all.
No, Orania must indeed fall.
It's going to be dismantled.
Because economic freedom, in fact, political freedom without economic freedom is meaningless.
Yes.
On that note, thank you very much for coming through, Commissar. I hope you'll give us an update as to what is happening. The people of Northern Cape cannot bear the brunt of racism right on their nose with the establishment or the existence of Orania. So we do hope for the dismantlement of Orania in the next coming days or years, but quite soon enough.
It's going to be an agenda of the day. When we wake up is Orania, when we sleep is Orania. That's why I'm sitting here. I could not see any problem for me to drive 700 kilos coming here because of I know what does that stand for. We stand to benefit a lot as a black community, as a black nation, because of democracy gave us this opportunity. So on behalf of the people of the Northern Cape, the EFF leadership in the Northern Cape, we are also grateful for this beautiful infrastructure that gives now information to the nation.
Thank you very much, Ralebo. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of this week's episode. And please continue to subscribe to the EFF YouTube channel. We've come to the end of the show. Until we meet again, good day. Kanmamba.